Many Kenyans still don't want to believe that the problems within the Ruto administration are very serious. Indeed, these problems do not leave untouched the people who are supposed to be closest to the president. And I believe that the latest telltale sign which has shocked many Kenyans who have understood what happened. Many others have not understood, still don't understand what happened. Yeah, but those of us who have understood, it has really shocked us. And I'm talking about the incident at a public function where Uasin Gishu women's rep, Gladys Boss Shollei, appeared to spill the beans, reveal deep government secrets, in an incident that if one looks at it casually, may appear to have been an accident. But when you examine it just a little deeper, you realize that there was no way it was an accident. It was very, very deliberate. Okay? And the implications, I assure you, are more than shocking. It all tells us something that we may not be willing to believe too quickly. What it tells us is that it appears that there's some infighting, very serious misunderstandings and wars, bang in the middle, very deep in the Ruto kitchen cabinet, amongst Ruto insiders, and possibly touches even Ruto's kitchen cabinet. Ay, 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 ay. Hey. Before I begin this story at the beginning, we need to understand that this is nothing new. Okay? This has indeed happened previously in our history, many, many, many times. You see, most of us do not appreciate how dangerous it is to be close to power. Oh, it is so dangerous. Hey, I know for a fact that even on this channel, many will not believe that statement. And even those who do will believe it shingo pande. Okay? J.M. Kariuki, the former Nyandarua legislator, was once in the Jomo Kenyatta kitchen cabinet. Oh yes. Hezekiah Oyugi, during the Moi days, was also very close, bang inside the Moi kitchen cabinet. In fact, before they succeeded, there had been several attempts by his colleagues in the inner circle to finish him. You see, Oyugi's biggest disadvantage is that he was the only non-Kalenjin in Moi's kitchen cabinet. The only one. But of course what helped him is that he had saved Moi's life before Moi became president. And therefore Moi trusted him a lot. But still, he was not immune to the power struggles deep inside the Moi administration. And you see, Oyugi's case was even sadder, because it is Oyugi who betrayed Dr. John Robert Ouko, the former foreign affairs minister in the Moi cabinet. Ouko trusted him because he saw Oyugi as a fellow Luo, a fellow tribesman. Kumbe was walking into a trap that had been set, and Oyugi was the bait. And usually, in a vast majority of these cases, it is all triggered by jealousy. Well, at least now you know, if you didn't know. Why on this channel we emphasize so much on human nature. In the case of J.M. Kariuki was a very wealthy man, and he lived in style. He even owned horses, which regularly raced at the then Gong Racecourse, Nairobi. But then, Bwana Kariuki, unlike so many people who get rich, never forgot his roots. And he always had a soft spot for the ordinary mwananchi. And so the whole thing was triggered by jealousy towards J.M. Kariuki. And of course the next step is to find the excuse. And therefore the excuse that was found in the case of JM Karaoke is that he was contributing too much money to fundraisers, harambes, countrywide. And that this generosity, the money was giving, exceeded what President Jomo Kenyatta himself was giving. And therefore, this was a sign. Yeah, of course it was just an excuse. But according to those who were after his downfall, this was evidence that he was challenging Jomo Kenyatta. For those of us who have gone very deep into the JM saga, it is absolutely heartbreaking the number of times this legislator tried to see the president, to clear the air, to set the record straight, to assure him that what he was being told was not true. The number of times he tried to see the president, the desperate moves he made to see the president, right up until his murder, is absolutely heartbreaking. But of course those people who were after him ensured that he would never get an opportunity to see the president, because then their plan would be frustrated. All this is very relevant, and it is important to remember all this as we look into the case of Gladys Boss Shollei and others who are close to Ruto who are in danger. In the case of Ezekiel Yugi, it is very heartbreaking that the fact that he betrayed Ouko was clearly evidence of his loyalty to Moi, and yet still that was not enough to protect him. I find that more than heartbreaking. These things happen. These things have happened before, and these things will always happen in the future. Being close to power, ogopa, tena ogopa sana. Now in the case of Gladys Boss Shollei, there is even evidence that shows us very clearly there is a problem. Yeah, very clear-cut evidence. In my opinion, not circumstantial evidence. Very clear-cut, loud evidence, which most of us already know. But when I put it in perspective, I'm sure will shock most of us. But very quickly before I do that, please allow me to introduce you to our sponsors for today's show, which is 1 acre prime land in Meru, just 5 miles from Meru town, at a place called Kithoka. Now this is very prime land. In fact, it's right next to the Mudui Coffee Estate, and it is at a very busy commercially place. And therefore, if you acquired this land, there are very many uses you can put it to. Yeah, many of us know that Meru is a very rich place. Meru has made very many millionaires in the country called Kenya. In case you didn't know, please contact the owner if you're interested. Dr. Maina, you can see the telephone number on your screens right now. Dr. Maina has been a dear member of this channel, a great supporter of Kumekucha for many years. And so you can make that call and make that deal without any fear. Right, Gladys Boss Shollei. Now many Kenyans were puzzled when the ethics and anti-corruption chaps announced that they are reviving an old case, an old corruption case from the days that she worked in the judiciary. Many of us were puzzled because you see, yeah, maybe all of us don't know this, especially because you see, there are no cases of the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission that are made public, that go ahead without the approval of State House. Okay? That is just the way things are. So how? Why? What is going on here? And so, with this background in mind, Gladys Boss Shollei gets up and talks about her loyalty to the president, and then decides to give the example of, you instructed me to impeach Rigathi Gachagua, And that is exactly what I did. What? She gives the whole of Kenya clear information, clear evidence that the impeachment of Gachagua was instigated, was started by President William Samoei Ruto himself. Now, of course, we all suspected this. Many of us were already sure that is where it came from. But it is one thing to suspect, and it is quite another thing for an insider to tell you exactly what happened. It is quite another thing. And there was a reaction immediately from President Ruto and those seated next to him. The body language was screaming, panic. What's going on here? What is she doing? That is what the body language was telling us. Further proof that this was no accident. This was very deliberate. And it is clear that Boss Shollei was hitting back. Hitting back at those who seem to be going after her. Okay? That is very clear. Now, of course, this raises many questions. What triggered this? What did Gladys Boss Shollei do that caused this problem, where her colleagues in the kitchen cabinet want to get rid of her? What was it? What happened? Well, we don't have that information yet, but we can see very clearly iko shida. You know, today I came across an old video I did over 7 months ago where I pointed out the mounting evidence that there was a problem between Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua. At that time, many Kenyans were doubting. In fact, many Kenyans just wrote me off. Kumekucha, you must be dreaming. How can there be a problem between Gachagua and Ruto? How? You're out of your mind. But the evidence was telling us there is a problem. The body language was telling us very clearly, iko shida, tena shida kubwa. And therefore, in this particular instance, I don't think it is a good idea to ignore all this mounting evidence telling us that in the case of Gladys Boss Shollei, there is a problem. And this problem, mark my words, is not small. Okay? Once again, I would like to very sincerely thank all those who are supporting me during this season of gifting Kumekucha Chris. Yeah, this goes a long way in supporting this channel, supporting the work I do, which is not easy. It has very many challenges. And unfortunately, the most serious challenges I face, it may not be possible to share here on the open channel. It may not be possible to share anywhere else, because you do not want to give your enemies information. It is dangerous. Anyway, you can see the details on your screens right now for those who are still on their way, and asanteni sana also to you in advance, and God bless. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.